Something that we tend to forget is that any day can be the start of a new beginning for us. In fact, any moment can. Right here, right now, you can decide to let go of past insecurities, mistakes, traumas, and welcome in a whole new chapter in your life and in your personality, your being, your presence. You can literally choose to reinvent yourself into somebody who is capable of getting you everything that you've ever dreamed of. And that really is the first step to getting closer to your dream life, to become the person who has the potential, the capabilities, the self-belief to live out your dream life. This video is going to be split into two parts. The first part is going to be looking at mindset shifts of how you can actually let go of the old you so you are ready to step into a new, upgraded, up-leveled version of you. And the second part of the video is going to focus on practical tips that will literally lead onto sustainable change so you can actually reinvent yourself and stay at the new leveled up version of yourself, because it's so easy to actually slip back into old habits, old patterns, and I think you really need a lot of mental resilience and discipline and good healthy habits in order to maintain a new version of yourself that is going to get you so much closer to being fulfilled, as well as you're achieving all of your dreams. I think when you know that you are not fulfilling your potential, there is such sadness, depression, anxiety. You just know that there's something missing and that you aren't at the place that you want to be in. First up, I'm going to be speaking about how to let go of the old you. So let's be honest, if you really want to tap into this new version of yourself that is upgraded in every single way, then you need to be ready to let go of the old you. Now, we're not going to do this with shame or embarrassment or hate at all. We are going to do this with love and understanding and excitement, because the truth is that all the past versions of you have gotten you to where you are right now. Those past versions of you did the best they could with the resources they had access to, with their family life, with the kind of friends, with the kind of environment, and with the kind of mindsets they had at that point. And they got you here, and you need to respect them. And I think it's so important not to beat yourself up or have that hatred for yourself, like, oh, I should have done so much more. Why wasn't I more productive? That version of you existed in a completely different time, you know, at a different age, and you knew different things back then, and you need to just respect that and let it go with a sense of peace and understanding and respect for the old versions of you. So there is no shame or embarrassment. That's not why we're letting go. We are letting go because we have outgrown that, in the same way as if you were to outgrow a pair of shoes. You wouldn't force yourself to fit into them because it's uncomfortable and they're old and they do need to be replaced. But they served you. They served you really, really well for a long time. I'm going to mention 3 tips for how you can mentally let go of the old you and welcome in an era of the new, improved, go-getter you. Firstly, you have to forgive yourself and others. If you hold on to resentment, sadness, dark feelings and thoughts, there is so much space being taken up within yourself, within your mind, that you cannot think about other things. You cannot focus on positive things. You are holding in so much negativity, and that is eating away at you on the inside. It's taking away your ability to have a laser sharp focus. And this is a really dangerous space to be in, because you can fall into a victim mentality where instead of actually focusing on your future and trying to make something of yourself, you are constantly blaming other people. Oh, this person said this, that person said that. Using that as an excuse to let time go by and to not be productive, to not be proactive, to not literally reinvent yourself, let go of all the past things and focus on having a bright, incredible future where you will get yourself exactly where you want to be. Every single person makes mistakes. You make mistakes, I make mistakes. It is just a part of life. At some point, every single person has said things that they don't mean or done things that they regret or wish they could take back. It's just a part of life, but it's so important to let it go. If it continues to haunt you, it will take up so much of your brain power. It will be mentally exhausting. You will feel so mentally exhausted all the time that you won't be able to really give your focus to other things that really matter and that can really shape your future, your present and your future, which is what you actually have control over. You do not have control over what's happened in the past. So it's so important to forgive yourself for all the mistakes and all the things that you've done that may have been, you know, hurtful, and to forgive other people as well. We are not going to fall into the trap of the victim mentality. It is just not happening, because it keeps you stuck in life, and that is not what's going on over here. We are progressing. So you need to journal it out, you need to cry it out, you should talk it out, whatever you need to do, get all of it out of your system. Forgive everyone, even if they don't deserve your forgiveness, even if it was someone who intentionally hurt you, who is not a good person. Forgive them and move on, not for them, for you, so you can have peace of mind, so you are fully ready to just move on to the next chapter of your life, not holding any baggage inside yourself from what has happened in your past. This brings me nicely onto my second point, which is to accept the past for what it is. Honestly, ruminating on all the traumatic or negative things that have happened to us, that have been said to us, can cause so much suffering. And it's like being stuck in that cycle of suffering, because you think about these things again and again and you can't seem to let them go. And it's so important to find a way to accept what's happened. The truth is that not everybody has a happy or healthy past. In fact, a lot of us do have a lot of negative experiences that have been chasing us, that have been haunting us, that just still live on, playing on repeat in our minds. Once you start thinking of everything in your past as either a blessing or a lesson, you will feel so much lighter and so much more comfortable just with everything that you've been through, because it's like, okay, this incident happened, but it taught me this. And it taught me how I don't want to be as a person, or the kind of people I don't want to keep a relation with or be close to. You'll never get away from it fully. You will never be in a stage in your life where you just don't care about the past, because your past makes you who you are. You learn amazing lessons from it. Those memories are literally some of the most beautiful things that make you you. Like, you don't want to get rid of your past completely. You just want to accept it, and you want to gain the lessons that you were meant to gain from your past. The third thing you can do to let go of the old you mentally is to fill yourself with self-compassion for all the old versions of you. So I used to be in this really toxic mentality of being really hard on myself. Every time I would think about the old Anam, I would be like, why didn't she do this better? Why didn't she do that better? And it was just, I was always in a state of lack and in a state of self-criticism, and I just didn't have a safe space for my inner child. And that came back to haunt me in terms of self-esteem issues and confidence issues. So it's so important to approach yourself with self-compassion. I think one of the major reasons for me being so self-critical was that I was raised in fairly competitive environments, and I actually went to Oxford for university, and that just constantly made me feel like I wasn't doing enough, I wasn't good enough. And I realized at the end of the day, it wasn't necessarily the environment, it was the pressure that I was placing on myself as a result of being in these environments. It's so important to check in with your mental health and your mental states, and to ensure that if they are negative, that you take care of them and you address them, you talk back to them with compassion. Because if you let that build up, that mindset, eventually you will be so full of negative thoughts about yourself, so full of self-doubt and limiting beliefs, that it will get hard to progress in any aspect of your life. Now I'm going to be speaking about all the practical tips you need to implement in order to see sustainable change. Now, all real change comes by as a result of self-awareness, effort, and consistency. And these are the three things that I'm going to be speaking about. Firstly, with regards to self-awareness, it's so important to know exactly what you want to change. How can you become an upgraded version of yourself if you don't even pinpoint the areas where you are genuinely lacking or you are underperforming? So you need to do so much self-reflection until you really hone in on the exact things that you know. You need to be honest with yourself, okay? Exact things that you know you need to change in order to have a positive impact on every other aspect of your life. So you need to self-reflect on all aspects of your life. Your mental health, your relationships, your career, your finances. Think about everything and be honest with yourself. Why are they the way they are right now? And what do you need to do in order to improve? And unless you do this, you will not have a clear vision of how you are going to change the trajectory of your life. As you start self-reflecting on all these different aspects of your life, you will automatically start getting a laser sharp and clear vision of the kind of future you want and how you are actually going to practically get to that stage. So when my self-awareness really heightened, I realized why I was so dissatisfied with so many different aspects of my life. Now, I had convinced myself there simply weren't enough hours in the day for me to do everything that I wanted to do and achieve everything that I wanted. And then after careful aspects of self-reflection, for instance, journaling about my routine, all the time that I'm wasting, I realized that actually there are plenty of hours in the day. It is truly me being lazy or me heavily procrastinating or this fear of failure, or there's so many other things that came up that were actually holding me back. I did have enough hours in the day to get everything done that I wanted to do. One of the main things that I realized through reflecting on my routine was that I hated early mornings, and I didn't want to wake up even 1 hour earlier to do, you know, for instance, this is a hobby of mine, YouTube. I just wasn't willing to wake up early and make that time for what I wanted to do. And then I realized, well, actually it's on me then. I cannot play this victim mentality card and be like, oh, it's because of XYZ. It's on me. If I want it enough, I will make that time in my schedule and I will show up and I will make it happen. And I did. So you really need to look into your schedule, your lifestyle, your routine, all the different aspects of your life. Think about them carefully and reflect on how they are currently, and also be honest with yourself. If you carry on doing things the way you have currently been doing them, you're going to get the same results. So if you truly want change, if you want to reinvent yourself, you should be willing to put in that work. You should be willing to pinpoint the times of the day where you can implement new habits and new routines. One thing I do want to mention about this section is that it might make you feel a little bit low or a little bit down about yourself, and that's perfectly normal, because as you start reflecting on, you know, the things you've done over the past year or the past few months, you might start to realize how much you've procrastinated or how much time you've wasted doing things that were just irrelevant to what your real goals are in life. And honestly, this makes me want to just bring in self-compassion again. Don't beat yourself up about it. Think of it as a lesson. And what an amazing thing you're already doing. You are self-reflecting, you are pinpointing all the problem areas, and you're going to resolve them. Of course you're going to see change. You are going to see such rapid change and growth and progress. This first section of self-awareness is really going to give you an idea, a clear idea of the kind of lifestyle you want to live and how to get to that. Once you have that clarity of vision, it's all about execution. And that is what the second part of this section is all about. It's all about effort. You literally need to put in the physical effort. It's not about penciling into your journal or into your schedule, I want to start gymming, and then doing nothing about it and not even reflecting on it again or thinking about it. It's about making time for that in your schedule. You have to make that effort. Practically, physically, you have to get up and you have to do it. So this section is all about setting clear, attainable goals. Instead of saying, I want to start creating content, actually do it. Pencil it into your schedule. Put that effort into it and you're going to make it happen, and you're going to start seeing results, which is going to motivate you to keep going, and you're going to be like, wow. Doing it from 1 month, you're going to look back and be like, wow, life is looking different. I'm looking different. Things are progressing. Things are getting better. Side note, it takes 18 days to form a new habit. So imagine you're doing this at an everyday level for a few weeks. You're going to look back in a month and be like, yeah, I literally reinvented myself. I'm literally living a completely different life. And even if your life looks very similar, these habits are going to stack up into real change. Even if your body looks fairly similar, a lot of the times the change is happening and it's a real, tangible, intense change, but you don't see the full effect or result of it until a few weeks or few months or sometimes even a year goes by. But when you look back, you're going to be so grateful that you started and you put all of that effort in. Setting clear, attainable goals also makes it less likely for you to procrastinate and feel overwhelmed by, oh, I want to change so much, how am I going to do it? Just break it down into small goals that are easily achievable within your routine at an everyday level. And over time, these habits will start stacking up. These small things that you thought, really, is it making that much of a difference for me to go for a 15-20 minute walk before work? Every single thing you do has a consequence, it has an outcome, it has an impact. And you need to realize how powerful that is, how much power you do have, because a lot of us do feel stuck in certain work environments or certain bodies even, like, you know, thinking that how are we ever going to lose weight or change the way we look? And honestly, you can. There is so much in your control. It's just because we are full of limiting beliefs because of our past experiences. But like we said at the beginning of this video, it's going to be a clean slate. We are going to reinvent ourselves by letting go of the past. We are a clean slate, and we are going to have so much self-belief, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep putting in that effort at an everyday level until we see so much change. And that is just going to motivate us to have even more change in our life until we are literally living like our dream self. The last point I want to make is all about consistency. Now, we can actually pinpoint all the areas of our life that we need to change in order to improve. But if we do not do them regularly, all the things that we've said we will do, like showing up at the gym or working on content creation or keeping in touch with relatives more, like if we do not actually start doing it on a regular basis, if we give up and that consistency isn't there, it's never ever going to lead to real sustainable change. It's just not going to happen. Consistency is perhaps one of the most important points that I'm going to make in today's video. You literally need to show up for yourself every single day, especially on the days that you don't feel like it, which is probably going to be a lot of the days. My main piece of advice for this is to fall in love with the journey, and the results will come. It's not even about the destination, it's about your journey of getting there, the way you're going to grow and evolve, the lessons you're going to learn, the experiences and memories, and just all of these things. They are so valuable, and honestly, you will look back and you will think about all these things, and that's exactly what it's like for me. It was my dream for such a long time to become a published author, and I really struggled with it. I had faced so much rejection, and by the time my novel was published, I was obviously amazed and thrilled, but it just feels amazing that I went on this whole journey. I think if I got it straight away after graduating, I just got my publishing deal, I became a best-selling author, I would not appreciate it as much, I wouldn't have grown as much, I wouldn't have learned as much. So there is honestly so much that comes in the journey that shapes you as a person, and that is what life is all about. You always need to have this growth mindset. That is what gives you the drive and also the joy. That is what humans are meant to be like. You are not meant to sit around in one place. You are supposed to be physically active, you're supposed to be mentally active, you're supposed to keep yourself engaged. That is the thrill, the excitement of life. So honestly, fall in love with your journey, with every single stage of it, and have that belief that you will get where you want to go, and that will make your journey so inspiring to yourself, because you know that one day you're going to be sitting with people and they're going to ask you, wow, how did you get to this stage? How did you make it happen? And you'll be like, yeah, well, there was a time where I had none of this. Well, I didn't have access to any of the resources that I have now, but I worked hard, I built myself up, and you know, that will be your success story. How exciting. So in order to build true consistency, you have to fall in love with the journey, and you also have to let go of limiting beliefs and replace them with a growth mindset. Just be happy and excited to grow, to learn, to fall, to make mistakes, to pull yourself back up, and to keep going. That is the beauty of life. That is the journey of life. That is every single person's life on this planet. And there is so much beauty in that. So these are all the tips and techniques that I have for reinventing yourself and getting that much closer to becoming the best version of yourself. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do remember to like, comment, subscribe. I look forward to chatting with you in the comment section. I will see you guys next time. Bye.